Good morning, my movie-loving brothers and sisters. How you guys doing on this Tuesday morning? Thanks for joining us on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel where we talk about all things movie, TV, and screen-related news. I'm, of course, your humble host, Key Toothman. I am joined today by, M. Night Shyamalan lover, She-Hulk, lover. We know he loves everything She-Hulk. Shane Wallace. Shane, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, everyone. And hey, I am wearing a Marvel shirt today. So I realized bringing the DC and we're only talking about Marvel. I was like, no, I need to bring the Marvel game today.
You can really tell he had to dig in the back of the closet for that one. That one's been back there for a while.
It's well worn. It's well loved.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us this morning, guys. How you guys doing on this Tuesday morning? It's beautiful again here where we are. Don't forget, guys, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it. We're going to kick things off. It's kind of a slow news day today, so there's not a lot going on. But, we still want to be here delivering what we can. And first, what we want to talk about is just what a topic that we want to call just what have we been watching. So for me last night personally, Shane, and I talked to you just a little bit about this, but we haven't had much time to talk about it. Me and my wife started the sci-fi series of Chucky is what it's called. And now they're currently in a season 2 that's releasing. They're on like episode 2, which is brilliant because it's October on the sci-fi channel itself. So I don't have access to those yet. You have to be, have cable and so or whatever. So I'm not gonna get to that point, but I still got a whole season to get through. I think it's maybe 9-10 episodes, and so just one episode in, I just want to say it's so fun, man. I really enjoy it. We talked a little bit again, and you were saying that you think it probably would work better as a series, and I think it does. It's just, especially the Chucky that we got as it went on, we got this more comedic Chucky. Like when I think of Chucky, I think now, I don't know why, but I think of like Seed of Chucky, and I think of Bride of Chucky and stuff like that, and which is more of like a comedy-based, version of the character. And this is definitely kind of what it is, but when it goes horror, it's dark and it's scary, and I love that about it. And some of the things that I thought was cool about it is the way that it uses comedy in the sense that, Shane, like I was telling you, that there's this like little boy that almost reminds me of like a kind of a grown up, not grown up, but 8th grade, 9th grade version of Sid from Toy Story. Mm-hmm. He's got this room there. He's built dolls out of pieces of dolls, and he collects dolls and broken dolls, and it's just creepy. And he's just like it starts with him at a yard sale, and there's a good guy doll there for sale, and he just buys it. And I love that. And we get to, like I was saying, we get to a point where he's at school with the kid, and he's kind of defending the kid because the kid's being picked on. I mean, clearly he's not a normal kid if he's playing with broken dolls and stuff. And so he's being picked on and stuff like that. And, Chucky starts kind of defending him. And just the comedic elements there are so hilarious. Like there's a talent show, and, they're all making fun of him. And at some point, he has Chucky in his lap. Chucky just starts, saying all this mean Chucky stuff to people, like insults and stuff to the other kids, but with cursing. And it's hilarious because the crowd thinks that the kid's talent is ventriloquism. And so it's so funny because it works, and I just loved it. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. Again, I'm only one episode in, so long way to go. I mean, but it's October again, and I'm having a lot of fun watching these horror things. So, Shane, you've been watching a lot of horror, I know you were showing me what was that called the other day that you showed me?
Basket case.
Yes, and it looked just like a basket case. But what else have you been watching, or you want to tell us a little bit about Basket Case?
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, this Chucky show sounds great.
Yeah.
I kind of hinted yesterday.
It's like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, and it makes me excited too because I kind of shared a little bit yesterday that growing up, I was deathly scared of horror films. I didn't want anything to do with them. And so now I've kind of overcorrected So now all October long, that's the only thing I want to watch because
Right.
I enjoy them so much. So,
Right.
and there's points in the day where it's like, man, I can't put on a full movie. What can I put on? I just want something on, that while I eat or something, while, before I have to jump in the shower, I wish there was something that's 30 minutes or an hour long that I could put on. And so this Chucky show is just like bingo. That's what I'm going to be watching now. So that great recommendation. Something that I watched last night, I should have watched Hellraiser, but we got sucked in of all things. I just threw it on because my wife just got home and I was just like, yeah, let's just throw something on you can veg out to. And each time I watch this movie gets better and better. I can't believe I can say that because I used to trash this movie all the time. But Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
Wow. It's been forever since
Oh,
I've
man.
seen that. My brother loved those growing up.
I love it more now than I was a big fan when I grew up with it. And then in high school, I was too cool for it. And in college, it was stupid and campy. And then you get to a point where you're like, oh, man, the 80s retro is so cool. I'm enjoying this movie again. And, I'm at the age where, you look back at teenage problems and they're hilarious. They're just like, oh my God, this is so, it's like, he's changing.
It's laughable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's changing into this werewolf in the bathroom and his dad's like, come on, son, I can help you. And he's like, not this time, dad, or whatever. It's just like, just these little moments that are so bad but are so good because they really are honest to what a teenage life is, where the smallest problems are the end of the world. And so to mix in that you're a werewolf, it was great. I enjoyed it more last night than I ever had before, and I've seen it probably 15, 16 times. So, check out Teen Wolf. I do want to say real quick about Basket Case. I just showed Key Basket Case, and I can't get that movie out of my mind. It is a super ultra low budget horror movie that went on to make sequels, was successful, and it is so weird and just, I don't recommend it. But I just wanted to say that I watched it and I loved it personally, but I wouldn't recommend it to 99% of anybody.
On that same topic, yesterday, under the topic of just so weird, I went and watched some David Lynch YouTube channel and watched some weather reports and some numbers of the days.
Yes. Yeah, there was during the lockdown, my wife and I, when we woke up, we put on the David Lynch channel and watched the number of the day and the weather report every single day. It's how we got our day going. So we have to thank you. Shout outs to David Lynch because we know you're watching.
I'm convinced that if you watch the right amount of them in a certain order, you will be possessed.
It was really funny because during WandaVision, we'd come over here to watch it with Key, and he's got his board up with all his, clues and stuff. And I'd go back to my house, and my wife has the same thing up, but with David Lynch's numbers of the day and weather report. It's like, it's got to mean something. He's sending me messages.
I was telling Lucas, because I was showing it to him, and Matt and Lucas are just crowded around me, just befuddled, looking at my phone, just shaking their heads, holding up their hands, and I'm like, dude, there's whole YouTube channels dedicated to like trying to decipher this, like it's some sort of code that he's trying to tell us the world's ending or something. And I remember Lucas goes, I was like, yeah, there's like thousands of channels, they're trying to decode it, and Matt or Lucas, one of them goes, ooh, what are they like? What are they finding out? And I'm like, you think I'm going to watch those? I'm scared enough. All I'm looking at is today's number is 5. And so I'm like, what? No, if I'm scared of 5s for the rest of the goddamn day. It's just, so it's incredibly disturbing, guys. If you haven't seen any of David Lynch's,
I don't know if I'd say disturbing. They're wholesome family.
Remember when he would like see when the pandemic started, when he started doing this, and this is what I was telling them. This is when I stopped watching it, because when I started watching it, it was fun. It was inventive. Like we'd get stuff like, what's David Lynch working on today? And we'd see these like little projects and stuff, and I loved that kind of stuff. But then he would start randomly, just like in the middle of it. And I remember like showing you and Shannon when it's happening. Like he just like the jar he's using for numbers now. Remember when he first introduced us to that? He's just like talking about the cell phone holder he's working on today during what's David Lynch working on today. And then all of a sudden he just picks up this jar and he's like, and this is a jar. It would be good to put things in or take things out of. And then that's it.
I love it.
And it's like, wait,
genius.
What is going on? What is he putting in those
genius.
jars? You can't put body parts in there, David Lynch. Scary stuff. Other than that, I just want to mention quickly the scariest thing me and Shane seen all year had to be the trailer we seen for The Whale, right?
Oh, I legitimately had nightmares. That can't be a real trailer. It's not the movie itself is scary, and I do want to see it, but that trailer, it's like watching Kevin Smith's Tusk. It was just like, oh my God, this is so deranged and upsetting to me. Real quick, though, before we do move on, I did see a trailer yesterday on Amazon Prime, I believe, and I added it to my list. I haven't heard about it before, but it's called Lucky with Henry Dean Stanton in it. And I believe it is directed by a Lynch last name. I don't know if it's his son or something, but David Lynch does co-star in it.
Okay, I feel like I remember hearing something about that.
And I just saw the trailer, added it to my Amazon list. I probably won't get around to it in October, but oh yeah, once horror season ends, that is number one on my list.
Awesome. Yeah, I still have a lot of stuff to watch with it being October. You know, honestly, watching the Shrieker Island, like I was mentioning the other day, has made me want to go back and maybe check out what came out. Maybe John Heder was in the one before that, and I didn't even know that either, you know, or whatever. I don't know, but I had a lot of fun with that movie. And again, it really reminds me of how easy it is to make a good horror type of movie. So yeah. What about you guys? What have you guys been watching? Quickly, I know Nancy said in the comments that she went out and seen Smile, and Smile was awesome. I think I might get out and check Smile out today if I have time. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, let us know in the comments section. What have you guys been watching? Is it old stuff, Halloween stuff, new stuff? Let us know. We're going to move on to our second main topic today. And our second main topic is going to be about Knock at the Cabin trailer that we just watched, and then M. Night Shyamalan's new deal. So first, quickly, let's talk about our thoughts on Knock at the Cabin. Firstly, I would just like to say that I definitely want to see this movie. Like, this trailer's got me sold. It reminds me a lot of the trailer for Old, where, you know, you're already kind of drawn in because these people are stuck on an island and they're unable to leave. But then, you know, they start aging quicker. And it's like, wait, what? Oh, my God, this looks so Twilight Zone-y and cool. And for me, Shane, I know you haven't seen Old, but Old was awesome. I really enjoyed Old. Now, it's not, you know, one of the best movies I've seen that year or anything, but for what it is, I really enjoyed it. And like I was telling you, right now, this time of year, that's something you gotta watch. I mean, you would definitely enjoy it right now more than ever. And so it definitely reminded me, it gave me that vibe of, like, you know, what is going on here, but I'm also frightened, you know, for this family and for this little girl in particular. And then we get inside the house, and then, you know, we have the guy that plays Drax the Destroyer, whose name is just not coming to me right now, but we have him in there, and we also have Ron Weasley from Harry Potter, right, which we haven't seen in a long time, which is just really cool to see. So, good looking cast, and we find out that they're there to stop the apocalypse, they say, which just sounds even more crazy. You know, it adds this bigger twist on this already what the hell was going on situation. And I loved it. Immediately when he said that, I was like, what the hell? Like, all right, I'm in. Like, when does this come out? I want to check it out, you know? So for me, Knock at the Cabin looks cool, man. Like, I'm excited. I've actually had good luck with M. Night's movies in the past few years. You know, like I said, I enjoyed Old. Split was great. Most of you, I'm sure, have seen Split. It was awesome. I never got to catch up to see Glass, but, you know, I've heard good things about it. So I may have to check it out sometime. It's definitely not, like, in that horror vein, so it may not be something I check out soon, but yeah, Shane, you had a chance to check out the trailer for Knock at the Cabin. Give us some of your thoughts. What do you think?
You know, it looked really cool. You know, as being an old school M. Night fan, I haven't seen any of his movies since The Happening in '08. So that's been 14 years now. But looking back over his filmography and seeing how successful his last few years have been. We're talking about not only Knock at the Cabin, but him signing a new deal for 2024. Well, in that 5 years from 2019 to 2024, he's having 4 films out in 5 years. And he hasn't had that type of success since his early success. So it's exciting to see that he's back, right? And not only am I excited to check out Knock at the Door, but I'm also excited about check out some of the other films that that I missed out on, evidently, that you've seen. And the one thing with M. Night and with Knock at the Cabin that I find really interesting is, he always likes to put deeper messages into his films. They're about something else rather than just, whatever the surface layer of the film is about. There's subtext to it. And that's what the great filmmakers do. Watching this trailer, just from what I've gotten, we have this gay couple that arrived to a trailer, very happy family, and then these very menacing people saying that the apocalypse is coming unless some choice is made. So the setup's really cool, but already I can see the deeper context. We've been talking about the Bros the last 2 weeks and some of the homophobia that perhaps is not going out to the theaters. And I think that this film is about the homophobia, especially in terms of religious homophobia, using the church as an excuse to be homophobic. Because, the apocalypse, when I think apocalyptic, I think the Bible. Mm-hmm. And, some of the tattoos that he had on his hands that we saw
just
from
the way
them.
he was, right? Mm-hmm. The way he carried himself.
Absolutely.
He was very humble. And again, in that way, we talked about recently about villains, having a mission, that they're not really evil, but he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Exactly.
He's there to serve God.
He's the hero in his movie.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so, I think it's very a cool idea to bring about this time because, evidently it's something that for whatever reason, even 12, 15 years after legislation is passed is something that still needs to be, whatever. But it's cool that, M. Night's, in my opinion, just from the trailer, is talking about it directly. And I'd like to see, based on the last films, the amount of success that he's had and see if this is successful as well. See if, if people want to go see this movie, even though it features a gay couple.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna go check this out. I mean, I'll see this in theaters. It looks so. That trailer got me enough to I want to see it as soon as it's available. So, but on that same topic, guys, it's already been announced that M. Night through his own Twitter has announced that he's already has another deal for another movie that's coming out, slated for exactly a year after when Knock at the Cabin comes out. Now, Knock at the Cabin is supposed to be released on February 3rd, 2023. So this movie would be slated for basically, it says here April 5th, 2024. So almost exactly 1 year later. So again, this speaks to something me and you talked about, Shane, a little bit about the idea that, kind of under the radar, right? M. Night's been killing it, right? Like without us knowing it or seeing it, we didn't quite check on how critically well all of these films are doing. But when it comes to financially, these things have been a success. They're knocking it out of the park. He's making these movies for less than $10 million sometimes and making $100 million, guys. And really, as a guy who's like, has a YouTube show about talking about movie news, it's something that's even went under my radar. It's kind of cool when I now looking back at it because, we did have this time with M. Night, right? Where it was like, we had the Avatar, The Last Airbender movie. We had Lady in the Water. We had some things from him that were just so bad that it felt like it would be hard to ever see something really good from him again. And then, like me and you talked about, Shane, it also made it hard to trust him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now in this past 5 years, when we're having this Shalamassance, right? We
Shalama hammer.
Right. Now in this past 5 years, we haven't been even really paying attention to him because, again, it became hard to trust him. So now what we're seeing is taking a closer look at it is that these things have been doing really well. And that the reason he's getting a movie release or a deal done, moments before a movie he has even came out is because his movies are making money, guys. Whether they're good or not is irrelevant to this situation, because as long as they're making money, then they will keep giving him movies to make, or he will, whatever he pitches to them, they're going to be like, yeah, M. Night, you made us $80 million last time, so let's do it. Let's do one a year, and that's something, Shane, you mentioned that it was, what was the numbers in the past?
So in this coming 5 years, from 2019 to 2024, he'll have 4 movies released in that 5-year span.
So that's almost a movie a year, guys. And Shane, as a movie maker, a director, and all of that, you know how hard it is to make a movie. I mean, this dude's making, for a lot of directors, we see him go 3 years, 2 years at least in between making movies, and sometimes 5, 6, years between making movies. This guy's pushing out a movie dang near every year, and it's making money. I mean, that's it's really cool to see, and again, it's really astonishing to me that it's just kind of went under all of our radars. And I did have a chance to check out Old, and I did like Old, so I'm excited to see this Knock at the Cabin, and I definitely want to check it out.
I think what impresses me the most, and why I think we're also having this success, not only do we talk about the numbers being cheaply made, and so therefore it's a high successful a back end return because they're making big box office or, strong box office returns, but compared to the budget. But, I think that's why percentages wise, but I also think that's why these movies are successful and why you enjoyed Old. And if we look back, I really want to see the Split. I thought you saw a Split.
Yes.
The cast looks
great.
amazing. I got to see it
James
just because of the cast.
I mean, it's amazing.
And, to me, I think, especially since M. Night Shyamalan, he's a writer at heart and also a filmmaker. So he does the whole thing.
Greatest writer to ever live, according to Lady in the Water.
There you go. And, at one point, you could argue that. So I think that him being unsuccessful and him being stripped from these big budgeted films is what's led to the success, because what made him successful in the first place wasn't massive CGI. Wasn't these big bankable stars,
right? Or IP like Avatar.
Exactly. It was amazing. Like Bruce Willis is incredible in The Sixth Sense, not because The Sixth Sense needed Bruce Willis. Anyone could have played that and done a great job because that role was just so good. We were just all impressed that Bruce Willis pulled it off. So that movie, it didn't even need a bankable star. It was just that good of a movie. And I think his strengths lie on that. Good storytelling, good characters, and the fact that his movies are $5 to $15 million to make.
Right.
The strengths now have to lie on the writing, on the creativity. And now that he's back to these basics, I can see why they're successful.
I mean, the truth is as we move on into the streaming wars again, people like M. Night will be the premier directors, right? Because
if Netflix is only spending versus 460 for Knives Out,
that's not even productions or nothing, right? So to think you could bring M. Night on and you could pump out a movie every year.
Netflix needs to get on this right now.
Yeah, no doubt. The thing with M. Night is that he's a theatrical guy.
Hey, they're putting movies in theaters. Maybe they can work out some deal.
For sure. Things are changing. Yeah. I do want to read a quote, though, that M. Night, the quote that he's put up on his Twitter. He said, quote, "Had an idea, pitch it to Universal Picks. Feeling incredibly grateful, inspired by all I work with, honored to tell you guys another story in 2024, #16. And of course, the #16, like me and Shane were talking about earlier, is because it'll be his 16th film, right? And again, 4 of those, have just been in the past 5 years. And so it's pretty incredible to think, and it's pretty crazy that it's, like I said, that it's gone under all of our radars.
Do you know how many amazing directors never get to 16 films?
Right. I mean, even like Tarantino's on like 12 or something,
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
So again, it shows you, that, and again, it would be one thing if, these movies weren't making any money and weren't being received well. It would be a totally different situation. But again, because these things are making money, it reminds me a lot of the Blumhouse situation, right? You have them, they make a movie like Annabelle about a doll that's like $4 million and it makes 120. And again, when you come down to percentages, I mean, they're killing it every year at the box office. Now, they don't make a $2 billion movie like Marvel does, or a $1 billion movie, or even a $200 million movie. But for the price that they're making their movies for compared to what they're getting back is just immensely different compared to what Marvel's still spending $400 or $500 million to make that Avengers movie. So it's just a big difference. And again, it's really cool to see. Shane, you gonna try to check out Old or a Split while you can during this month of October?
Definitely. And Split really looks cool. And like I said, the cast, Anna Taylor-Joy, and I'm absolutely in love with her acting. So I try to see everything she's been in. So I can't believe maybe the name, M. Night Shyamalan really scared me off.
Again, it's hard to trust.
Yeah, I saw The Happening. I think that was the first one I didn't see in the theaters. And by that point, it was just a steady decline until I was like, I'm out. And then right after that happening, I think he did Last Airbender, which I wasn't going to see anyway. I wasn't a fan of the anime manga series. Right. So, and then after that, he did the Will Smith movie, right?
Yeah, the After Earth. Oh, terrible movie.
Yeah, and that's all I heard. Even though,
terrible movie.
I was tempted to see it. I couldn't pull the trigger. But then I missed out on everything else, so I'm the sucker.
Yeah, right. It happened to all of us, I guess, right? Yeah. So guys, what about you guys? Have you guys had a chance to check out this Knock at the Cabin trailer? Or what about just any M. Night films? Have you guys checked out Old or Split or Glass? Let us know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Are you excited for this? Are you happy for the Shalama-sance and the Sham Hammer? Are you excited that the hammer continues to pound? So let us know down in the comment section below what you guys are thinking. So I want to move on here to our third and final main topic, which is something I'm actually pretty excited to talk about, guys. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a She-Hulk season finale little teaser up. It's not much, not a lot going on there, but there is this like little, if you blink, you'd miss it, clip of what looks like Banner back as Hulk fighting the Abomination. And when I first seen it, I had so many questions. Like, first of all, if you guys have been around here, we were talking about She-Hulk last week in our open spoiler discussion. And then after, on the next day, we talked about it once we'd seen it. And I'm really enjoying She-Hulk a lot, like, as we're getting to the later episodes. But one thing we talked about was, would we see Banner again? And we went around the room, and I was the only one in the room that thought we wouldn't see Bruce Banner again. And, in my defense, we see him fly away in a spaceship, and he's like, I gotta go. I'll see you next time on Dragon Ball Z. Just,
like Poochie, he makes an exit like Poochie.
Right. So I was pretty confident that we weren't going to see Banner again. Now, if we would have asked the question around the room, if Banner comes back, do we see him fight the Abomination? It was a no chance that was going to happen in my mind. The last time we see Abomination in the She-Hulk episode, Shane, he's made his own. What do you call that? Where like just you live and you can other people and it's self-sustaining, like a commune or something. I can't think of the name. I'm trying to think of, but
like Sandals, the all-inclusive resorts.
Kind of, but more like a hippie thing,
Oh yeah, so like a commune.
Yeah. Okay, so he started his own like commune for peace and serenity and trying to help all these other people understand their true inner selves so they don't have to, be this monster that's inside them and stuff. And it's brilliant. It's awesome. It's super hilarious, right? Because we get this Zen version of, Neil Blomsky, who hasn't and doesn't want to turn into the Abomination. And then again, now here he is fighting the Hulk. He's also out on parole, and part of his terms of parole is that he could not turn into the Abomination. So again, if you asked me, would I have thought that we would see Hulk versus the Abomination in the final episode, I would have bet this whole show against it. But here we are. So again, it is a little teaser. For all we know, maybe it was something that didn't even make it. But it looks like a lot of CG to be working on for it to not be in there. And it looked cool. We just got a small shot. We see them kind of punch at each other. It looks like they're one of them catches the punch. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I am very curious, what's going on there. I'm really worried now. Before this, I had no worries about the finales of She-Hulk because I don't know, it wasn't even in my mind. But now I'm like, what the hell? How are you? I mean, this show has been 15 minutes long, guys. I mean, how are we throwing in, the stuff that we concluded with in episode 8 and Intelligenta, and then also maybe more Daredevil, and then now Hulk versus Abominations in there? Like, it's really got me worried that we may be setting up for a disappointment, crowded, and take away from the Jen Walters character, which I really am enjoying. So I don't want to see that happen. But who knows? Maybe they give us like an hour, season finale. It's an hour long or something, and we just don't know it's coming. So, I mean, that would be cool too. But as of right now, it seems like there will be a fight between the Abomination and the Hulk. Shane, I know that your favorite Marvel movie ever made is the '08 Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
That's right.
Because you're just such a big Fight Club fan.
Enor.
Yeah. That you couldn't help. You want to see like a Fight Club remade, but with him as the Hulk, right?
I didn't know we were talking about Fight Club today. That's awesome.
We're not.
Hold on. No, bring it back to me. We're talking about Fight Club, right?
but Shane, I know you haven't had any chance to check out. Yeah, Lucas said in the combination, it's like a retreat, right? Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I know you haven't had a chance to check out She-Hulk much, but you did have a chance to check out this little teaser with me, and you kind of know the logistics of what's going on here. What are your thoughts about Hulk coming back in this season finale episode, and then maybe getting that rematch from your favorite movie ever?
That's right. We've been waiting. I guess it's been 14 years now.
It's a long time coming, man.
Us fans, we're diehard.
You've been chomping at the bit the whole time, though, right, Shane?
I have shirts that are just like, when is this rematch happening? It's just like, let's get Don King on the phone. Let's get him scheduled up, because this is all
Where's
what
Dana
the world
White?
wants.
Get me Dana White. I want 5 rounds in a cage.
That's right.
We want to do this properly. We want 3-ounce gloves.
Exactly. We demanded it. No, actually, watching the trailer, it looked pretty cool, but I got to say, your breakdown, because I have not been following She-Hulk. I feel bad sitting in the chair today on such a slow news day that we have to cover this trailer, because I know nothing about this show. But what got me excited was how excited you were, because you were talking about how this in a billion years would never happen at the end of this season. Well, that sounds like a great season finale to me. That sounds like really strong writing. Yeah. And this sounds like, the writers and the creators have the audience exactly where they want you, in the palm of their hands. So, that sounds like a great idea. And, I look forward to it, because it did look really cool. And Abomination's such a classic OG, Hulk villain. For him to bust up in a She-Hulk episode with Hulk is such a She-Hulk idea. Just bring the house down. We're going to go all out, because, She-Hulk, especially the John Byrne run, which this show's based on, is very tongue-in-cheek, breaking the fourth wall, the original Deadpool. Exactly. Yeah. Shout out to John Byrne. And so, being aware of that, knowing this is the season finale, she's also aware that this is the season finale. So,
well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen Shane, but we when we covered it, over the weekend,
I did hear you talk about it, how she knows something's going wrong, kind of that WandaVision.
It kind of came up on her, and she's like, "Wait, hold on, this ain't supposed to be the last episode. We shouldn't be at this point yet." And it was when it happened, man. I'm telling you, the way they played it, you would really dig it, because again, it was very WandaVision or Twin Peaks season 3, in that, like, wait a second, something's not going right. You know, what's wrong here? What's off? And so, you know, maybe she even doesn't know.
I think you're digging too deep. I think it was just a one-liner type of, hey, what's going on here? You know, waka waka type of thing. And so, you know, but, you know, it works because, you know, you're glued to this and you got to know. And that's what you loved about WandaVision was you didn't care if your theories were right or wrong. It's like when I watch, you know, those stupid Shining videos on YouTube, you know, the theories, they're amazing because it's just like, wow, how can you keep digging so much into this? Because
and
they're so enthralled.
You're like, how does this, what, does this dude have a job or like, is this just YouTube pays him to just dig into The Shining all day long, right?
Hey, you know, if people like me are watching it.
Right.
Although there is one, Jack is the writer. That's all I'm going to say. Check that one out. But after checking out all our videos and liking and subscribing to those first, and then check out their stuff. But, you know, it is really cool that they're bringing in the Abomination, something that you didn't foresee happening. How could they do this? So this is episode 9?
Yes, this will be the finale.
Is that usually how they run 9 episodes?
So no, actually, this has been kind of so WandaVision was 9 episodes.
Okay.
But they released the first 2 at the same time. So in a way, kind of not 9 episodes. But then everything after that's been like 5 or 6.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's been rough. But that being said, they've all been 30 to 40 to 50 minutes, where this is 9 episodes, but they've all been, you know, 15 to 25 minutes.
Ooh,
you know,
ouch,
so it's
that's too short. Not not to criticize the shortness, just as a fan, it's just like, come on, you know, you just got into this show. You know, 9 weeks later, it's already ending. You know, it's like it's like summer camp. It's just like, oh man, now I got to wait a year to see Martin. I never see him and his toad that he captured. But yeah, so you know that's a shame that it's ending so soon. But you know, it sounds like they're going out with a bang to leave a lasting impression. So you'll definitely be back here this time next year.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing about the whole, you know, Hulk fighting anybody thing is, I mean, honestly, I can't really stand the iteration of Hulk we're at right now. Professor Hulk in Endgame was kind of comical and it brought this different kind of comedic sense to the character that I really enjoyed for a moment. But, you know, Hulk's been neutered, man. I mean, I say it all the time, you know, back when the Avengers came out, you know, and leading up to it, and then even when we got to it, you know, like Loki's whole plan was to unleash the Hulk, right? I mean, because he is the nuclear threat. He is he could beat Thor. He could beat all of them at the time. Like, that was Loki's plan. He was going to use Hulk to beat all the rest of those guys and anyone else he needed. And I mean, now we're at a point where, you know, Hulk is just not that character. He's not this, you know, end all be all of the situation. So, I'm just not sure what we get out of it. You know, I'm not too sure how I feel about watching Bruce Banner fight people. And basically that's what I'm getting, right? Because he's smart Hulk. So I'm getting Bruce Banner in Hulk's body trying to fight the Abomination. So theoretically, I would just like to say who should win this fight is Neil Blonsky, the trained dude that's been a Navy SEAL and all of these things. Like, he should win the fight, right? Because Bruce Banner doesn't even know how to fight. So just having a big Hulk body is great if he was fighting me. But he's fighting another dude with a big Hulk body.
And knows how to fight.
Yeah. And so what I would really like to see is Hulk get his ass whooped. And maybe somehow this could possibly bring out the Hulk that we all know and love and miss. Because, again, I really would like to see it. You know, there was a shot, Shane, in this series in the beginning. You know, he's kind of wearing this arm inhibitor that he's created, of course, to keep him from turning into the Hulk or whatever. But, you know, in Endgame, he explained to us that, you know, he had spent all this time in the Gamma Lab and, you know, I crossed the brains with the brawn and now it's just perfect, you know. So he kind of made like this insinuation that him and Hulk could kind of come to an agreement, right? That like, hey, I'll run this and you run this, and so, and that's kind of where they left it. And then we have this shot, Shane, in She-Hulk where they crash. It's the very first episode where, Jennifer gets her Hulk powers. And they crash in the car, and when they do, like, you can see Bruce, like, he's on the ground, and he's like, and you can see Hulk trying to come out. And it was very interesting to me when that happened. Now, we haven't touched any more on it again. And honestly, until talking about it right now, I haven't even thought about it again myself. But when that happened, I remember pausing it immediately and looking over at the rest of the group and going, whoa, guys, Hulk is not in there by choice. Whatever's happening to Hulk is happening to him not by choice. And then, Shane, what it reminded me of was that comic you told me about where Hulk is actually the good guy, right? And Banner's the one doing all this, like, experiments to him and stuff like that in his sleep and all these things, right? And it really reminded me a lot of that, and that our hero is Hulk, and he's trapped. And now Banner has, like, trapped him somehow inside of his own subconscious. And so what we thought was this perfect union may actually be Hulk being suppressed, which who knows what that looks like for him. It could just be blackness for all we know. We just don't know. But to see him try to kind of want to break out, if this is a mutual agreement type of thing, I've already made the agreement. I know that you turn it on when it needs turned on. So why do I need to come out? And now the guys try to defend that, like, hey man, it was a car crash. Maybe Hulk's just like, what the hell's going on? I better come out, kind of thing. And again, maybe, but the thing with Hulk is, the way at least I know him, is if he were, it's kind of like we had this scene with Jennifer Walters in the She-Hulk series where they try to take her blood. And when they did, of course, the needle just, bends and can't even penetrate. And then later on, we find out that there's a guy that slept with her, and while she was asleep, he took her blood in human form. And see, the reason why that doesn't work, at least in the comics, is because, like, and they try to do that to Bruce, that people do, and immediately the Hulk wakes up because you're stabbing a Hulk. And so even though Banner's body is there, I mean, Hulk would wake up and he'd be like, what the hell? I'm angry. A wasp just stung me in the back, kind of thing. And so it still doesn't quite feel authentic to the character. And again, what I would really like to see is I would like to see the Hulk back. I would like to see Hulk smash. It's been fun seeing Jennifer Walters, and I think this gives us the chance to have that happy medium of having a smart, intelligent, quippy Hulk, and then still being able to have our, savage Hulk, And so with both, we can have Jennifer Walters Hulk and we can have Hulk at the same time. But with them both being that way, we're kind of getting the same character and the same vibes, and they're both kind of a comedic thing, which I feel now that we have She-Hulk even makes it weirder that Bruce is this way, because it isn't how Bruce is in the comics. It isn't how Hulk is in the comics. Even the Professor Hulk iteration in the comics is he's smart, but he's not so much of a a comedic relief, and so I would really like to see Hulk back. And Shane, you have some thoughts? Go ahead.
First of all, that Mark Waid series, it's one of my favorite Hulk series because they turned Banner into the villain.
Right.
And I've never seen that done before, and that was really cool. So if they're setting up something along those lines, that would be incredible.
Right.
The thing that surprises me the absolute most is if you would have told me back, we were dissing on the Edward Norton Hulk back in 2008, that 14 years ago. If you would have told me 14 years ago that we weren't going to have another Hulk movie, he would only show up in cameos for like 5 to 10 minutes in an Avengers movie, so he's not even an Avenger anymore. And the only time we actually see a new Hulk anything is in animated form. And in that 14 years, we'd actually get a She-Hulk show before we'd bring back Hulk. I would have just been like, no way. You know, that'd be cool, but I
Right.
mean, you got to bring back the Hulk. He's such a huge. I mean, your daughter's obsessed with him. I know so many of my nieces and nephews that absolutely love Hulk. They love the Hulk smash iteration way more than the Professor Hulk. They want to see Hulk smash. That's the appeal
whole
of
appeal
the Hulk.
of it, right?
Is that built-in size
those
inhibition?
hands that came out?
Yeah, the Hulk hands.
Right, and you just wanted to punch
Yeah,
shit. You didn't
right.
care about...
Yeah, exactly. You
They didn't tell jokes when you punch, you know?
And you can tell that, you know, the fact that they haven't brought back the Hulk, they've completely dumbed down the Hulk, that even though he's highly intelligent, he's still kind of this lovable
like a
big
jock now,
beast.
right?
Yeah, and you know, it's just this lovable giant. And I think it's because they're trying to make sure that he appeals to kids of all ages, that he doesn't want Hulk too scary. And now I think we're in this position where Marvel's just like, well, we don't know what to do with this character because we can't, you know, just bring him back in his own movie for whatever reason. I don't know why. It might be too scary is what they're thinking, because I can't think of. They have the CG now for it. There's no reason to.
Well, they haven't had the rights for a few years, so it seems like maybe in the last year they got Neymar and Hulk's rights back.
Okay, well that makes sense then. So, but you would at least think that something be in the works as of this point,
right? Right.
I mean, so whenever Marvel was able to use him in the Avengers, what was the deal with that then?
So they're allowed to use him as long as he's not the title character. So he can be in an Avengers movie
or in a She-Hulk show,
but he just can't be in anything that's called Hulk. But I think that's changed. And on that topic, and feeding into that same thing with the Mark Waid comic is, you know, and I'm going to pull this way out of my, you know, Illuminati meeting theories. That I think that there's a chance that he could be suppressing Hulk, and in fact, I'm going to say now that, you know, seeing this trailer has confirmed to me even more, Shane, because I had this kind of theory that, like I had just told you, that Hulk's been in there and he's just being suppressed. So he's probably already like super angry, you know, and he's just waiting to get out of there. And it also makes sense too, because if you remember in Ragnarok, the opposite happened, right? The Hulk was out for like 3 or 4 years, and then when Banner came back, he's like, "How long have I been the Hulk?" And he's like, "It's been like 5 years." 5 years, right? And he had no idea. So I really believe something similar is happening. And if that's the case, again, Hulk, wherever he is probably really angry and really wants to be back out, right? And so then I thought, okay, well, there's murmurs of a World War Hulk series or movie coming soon, right? So then I thought, okay, we get this scene in She-Hulk where he flies off back to Sakaar, back where Planet Hulk happened, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is where we're setting up World War Hulk, right? Banner's going to go back there. He's going to realize what has happened, and he's going to come back here and be mad at, you know, whoever, and thus we get the World War Hulk. But now I'm even thinking more that it leads me to think that Banner's went there because he's back, right? According to this teaser, and we know he left to go to Sakaar. So whatever happened, whatever he went there for, and they were coming to get him
where's
for,
that at?
it's over. So what it may lead me to believe is that they came and tried to tell him like, "Hey man, your kids and your wife and stuff got murdered or blown up or whatever." And of course, Banner don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Thanks for telling me. Those aren't my kids. I don't care. And so I think we could get to a point where at some point we find out that, you know, the Hulk somehow finds out the truth. And that's what really brings
catalyst.
this World War Hulk.
I could definitely see
is that he's been being, you know,
captive.
Yep, he's been being held captive by Bruce for years now. And then my family and kids die, and you don't even tell me or do nothing, and you let that happen and don't say, and your response is, "I ain't my kids." That would set up a seriously angry Hulk that I would love to see.
Who does he fight in that situation though?
He fights everybody, right? He fights everybody.
But he's angry at Bruce.
He's got to be angry at everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to wonder why they didn't question. Because, like, if you think about the scenes with Thor and Hulk that we got in Ragnarok, they're buddies. They're friends.
You're right. Why didn't you?
Hulk has to feel this betrayal, right? Why didn't you ask? ask? Why didn't you get to the bottom? You just accepted, 18 months in the gamma lab. I mixed the brain with the brawn. You know, how do you accept that without wondering what happened to your friend? I mean, if again in Ragnarok, Hulk defended Thor's, world, his home. The Hulk tried to fight Surtur to keep Ragnarok from happening. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's buddies, Thor and Hulk got to be buddies. I mean, and then everyone else in between, I think you got to be mad because again, there just wasn't enough questions asked, and I don't know. Also, as a Hulk, you're just angry, right? At everything all the time, and I think it just would add so much snowball effect to create this real, like I said. What World War Hulk gives us is this, volatile, scary Hulk. Mm-hmm. Like I always mention, there's the
uncontrolled.
Yes,
Hulk.
There's that first scene of comic panel where he's going back to Earth and he lands on the moon, and of course the what's the guy's names that live on the moon?
The Inhumans.
Yeah, the Inhumans live on the moon, and Black Bolt comes out, and and Black Bolt's like whispering from the distance. He's like, oh, and it's creating all these like ripples and waves, and the Hulk's just walking through him, and the Hulk finally says, I didn't come here to hear you whisper. I came to hear you scream, and just starts running at him and just ends up ripping him apart. And it's just so gruesome. And I mean, there's a lot of elements in it that you probably couldn't use. At some point, he creates like, the Colosseum and has them, fighting each other and stuff. And then I think it ends up being the Sentry, right, that has to see it on TV, and then once the Sentry sees Reed Richards forcibly kill Iron Man, then the Sentry's like, all right, fine, because him and Hulk are friends too, and see, and
he also understands where Hulk's coming from, and it's like, hey,
exactly, he's like, damn, well, look, you shouldn't have did it.
Mm-hmm. oh crap, he has them killing each other.
Remember
okay, maybe now.
Sentry's like, remember when you came to me and y'all was like, hey, do you think it's a good idea if we? And I was like, nah, you shouldn't do anything to that dude. Right. Right? And so Sentry, has been sitting on the couch this whole time watching this. And then at some point he decides to get involved. And then we get, in my opinion, one of the greatest comic book battles ever, which leads to them both, reverting back to their human forms and just kind of hugging it out and being like, dude, we're too badass to do this. We're going to destroy everything if we don't stop. So let's just hug it out.
We'll both stop.
And it was awesome. And again, there's a lot of those elements that I don't think you can get to. But to me, what's the most important part, guys, is getting this Hulk that's very angry with purpose. This is a Hulk that he's not just mad, because, Ultron robots or because he was possessed by Wanda. He's mad because, like I said, with purpose. His family has been killed. He's been held basically in prison for years now by Banner. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see that version of the Hulk. Wouldn't you, Shane?
So if World War Hulk happens, what I want to know, Key, is this a movie or is this a Disney Plus series?
So originally the rumors were that it was a movie. And so then...
Wouldn't it work better as a Disney Plus series?
You follow me.
Okay.
So then, so the rumors were that Feige and some of the other people had looked at it and was like, oh man, this needs more room to breathe. So let's make it 2 movies. And then he was like, fuck, let's just throw it on Disney Plus. Because if we throw it on Disney Plus, we can make a 10-episode series out of it, and really get this story, to its full ability to be told. And so now it's sitting at the idea is that it would be like a 10-episode Disney Plus series.
And so how much money now are they taking off the table because they're not releasing this in the theater?
No doubt.
Because who doesn't want to go see World War Hulk?
Well, because the She-Hulk series was the most expensive series that they've made so far, just because...
I know
you
all
gotta
that CG.
do all that dang
and you
CG.
could throw in Hulk and Abomination fighting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so
very cool.
So I don't know. I'm really excited. And today's only Tuesday, right? So got a couple more days before game day, guys. We're definitely gonna do a stay up till 2 a.m. to watch She-Hulk video or whatever the hell we want to call it pregame. I'm sure Lucas and Trevor will be here for that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, last week having Daredevil was cool, and seeing the little tease for Abomination versus Hulk looks great. So I'm excited to see it. Guys, have you had a chance to check out this little 30-second teaser? What are you guys' thoughts about the Abomination and Hulk fighting again? Are you guys excited if we could get a World War Hulk or any of that stuff, guys? Just put it down in the comment section below and let us know what you guys' thoughts are. So that's going to be the last thing for our main topics today. Shane, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we got a couple of questions.
Cool.
Does anybody know what today's number is?
Okay, so I don't know today's number currently, but we did check the last 2 days in a row have been 5. So if today's 5, Shane,
Is that the world ending?
I don't even know. That's the problem.
So we know what 666 is. What's 555? Something worse?
It's like
Abomination,
right?
probably.
It's like the day before. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure what he's getting at with the number of the day. But I'm gonna give it a shot in the dark, and I'm gonna say we should start making this a daily thing where at the end of the day, Shane, me and you guess what the number of the day was, and then in the morning tomorrow we'll see if
we'll
we're
check
right.
it. Okay.
So it's a single number balls 1 through 9, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 3.
I'm gonna go 7.
7. 7. Shane's
Hey,
saying I'm gonna say 3. So what else? What else we got, Shane?
Who's winning the fight between Hulk and Abomination?
Okay, so again, I like I said, in my opinion, Blonsky's got to win the fight, right? Abomination's got to win the fight because Bruce Banner doesn't know how to fight. And I don't care if he has a Hulk body. I mean, Shane, if I gave you a Hulk body, do you know how to fight now?
No, no.
No, you don't.
I could fall on people, though.
Yeah. I mean, you could punch at people and stuff. But if you were fighting another thing that was a Hulk but had 50 years of military experience, you'd probably get your ass kicked, right?
Absolutely.
So, in my opinion, if they're going to be true to this, the scenario, then I think Abomination's got to win the fight, right?
So what if we aren't talking about Marvel cinema, MCU Hulk? What if we are talking about comic book versus comic book Abomination?
Well, you know how I feel about
Hulk wins all day long, every time.
Who could beat the Hulk?
Yeah.
You know? Who could beat the Hulk? I mean, I will say this too. We did have a movie already that Hulk beat the Abomination.
That's true.
In.
Yeah.
So it's 1-0. Here's the problem. Here's the real problem with this scenario, guys, that we haven't even thought about is that if Abomination wins, do we get the rubber match? Do we get the Thriller in Manila?
We got to.
Right? We gotta have, right? And like I said, we were saying last week, we want that weekly 5-card fight.
That's right. Yeah.
We need to get Dana White and Don King so we can get it all together. Shane, do we got any other questions?
I am not seeing any other questions.
Okay.
This is your time to chat.
Yeah, chat, you got any questions, let us know. I did just want to go one more time over that Nancy said that she went to see Smile finally.
Oh, yeah, she said she was going to see that yesterday.
Yeah,
How did she like it?
She said she's seen it. She says it was awesome. And if someone smiles at you in a freaky way, turn around and run.
Okay, we got a shot, though. So if we do see the smile, we're not instantly dead. We have a shot to survive. That's good to know.
Right. And like I was telling you, Shane, they did a bunch of guerrilla marketing where they had a bunch of people behind home bases at MLB games.
That's awesome. That is
the whole time,
really cool.
Right? What do you think those guys are getting paid? I mean, probably pretty decent.
Something an hour, probably like $20 an hour or something
Worth
like
it.
that. Yeah. Well,
Right?
You're also there to see a playoff Major League Baseball game.
Right.
I want to know
free. And they probably get free concessions.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to know which games. And you were saying it sounded like a mall.
Do you think when they got home that they were just like, oh.
I wonder if there's some prosthetics involved.
I don't know, man. I mean, we look some up after the show, but I'm telling you, it looks like
people just smiling.
Really,
that has to hurt.
Go. Yeah, for sure.
I would take the next day off for sure.
But it was great because they kept cutting to him or putting him up on the jumbotron, and you could, and then they'd cut to that, and then they'd cut to like someone in the audience who was clearly had been looking at the jumbotron right before, and they'd just be like. like, what the hell? What was that lady smiling about? They cut to.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think that's
and
brilliant.
they never explained it, you know?
I mean, that is so brilliant because you have so many eyes on MLB. It's just such a great way to piggyback off of someone else's marketing for your own marketing. Because not only do you have TV viewers, but, you know, we live in the social media world. How many people are taking pictures, posting on Twitter, posting on, you know, their other accounts, and now those people are also sharing it.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, you know, you might not even know what that was at the baseball game, but by the end of the day, you're like, oh, it's for the Smile movie because someone's going to know and let you know and
or
spread
you get
it.
like a home run that's on Sports Center, you know, and you right there. I mean, that's
there you go. Now you're on
crazy marketing.
ESPN. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's brilliant.
I really do.
I mean, they did have to pay for those playoff seats. So you know you're talking about maybe a few $1,000s, 10, 20,000 for I don't know how many
Had
games.
to be worth it.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. How much is a usual marketing campaign? You know, we're talking millions of dollars.
So had to be
this
worth
was
it.
very cheap.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, no kidding. So very, very smart. I'd love to see more of this at basketball games, something like that. You know, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and it may, you know, we've been talking on the show this week and last week how Smile has topped the box office, you know, two weeks in a row now. So
they didn't even need this boost, but I'm glad to see it. Keep driving it home.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks for letting us know what your thoughts on Smile was, Nancy. I'm glad you went out in theaters and checked it out, and hopefully I'm able to get out there and check it out this week sometime. I really want to see it. This marketing's got me excited for it, and I'm imagining when I leave when I go, there's gonna be people leaving the theater just like it's happened to them. So
I love it.
So yeah, guys, don't forget to go check out the Well trailer so me and Shane don't die in 7 days. And other than that, man, it's been a blast, guys. It's Slow News Day, but really, it's been fun. So I appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be here tomorrow again. Hopefully we have more to talk about. And if not, you know, we're going to try to check out some movies tonight. Maybe, Shane, maybe you could check out Hellraiser.
We can talk about Hellraiser tomorrow.
Yeah, and I was thinking about maybe finally checking out Monsters or something. But, you know, I'm kind of excited about this Chucky series too, so I may want to watch some more of it and get to the bottom of if there's more John Heater Tremors movies. So awesome, guys. We really appreciate it. Shane, you've been my lovely co-host today.
Thanks so much.
I really appreciate it, man. It's been
Thanks
awesome.
for having me.
Yeah, it's always fun, guys. So we appreciate you guys being down in the chat. Again, guys, don't forget, if you're new around here, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps with the algorithm of the channel and stuff. We appreciate all your guys' questions, too. It's always fun. Again, that's the funnest part of the show is answering your guys' questions. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good one.